Hello, my wonderful friends. Thank you for stopping by and welcome to A Crafter's Story. It's Celeste here. So, as I work through pages and populating pages for my new journal, and I feel like I'll keep saying this, I'm sorry if I sound like a stock gramophone. I have already made a pocket on the side with some collage, tissue paper collage and nail polish. And that we did in a previous video, and I've already made this pocket which has an insert, and now it's time to work on the inside of this piece of the signature, this page. When I put the lines inside this writing space, the marker came through onto the side of the page. And I always think, oh my gosh, what have I done? Why? But then afterwards, when I relax and I think about it, I think, well, we can fix that. No big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a technique that I learned from Hazy Crazy Art. Hazy has done, get rid of that. Hazy does these wonderful negative image type painting pieces that I absolutely love, and I tried it and I did show you guys this on the reveal for this journal, but this is effectively how it comes out. So I'm going to do this technique on here, and I'll make sure to put a link to Hazy's channel because she does some really beautiful art. I love her vibrant colors. Okay, so let's get started. Before I get started, actually, let me just explain something else. Because this is paper that I've already stained, I used some red food coloring and stained this paper so it came out this beautiful pink, very diluted red food coloring in water. The paper is already treated, and so it has already lost some of its strength, because your paper does degrade slightly every time you wet it. I took a gel medium, and you can use Mod Podge as well, matte Mod Podge or a matte gel medium, and I covered this paper only on the side. I didn't do it on the side, so my hope is that when I use my watercolor paints, don't look at my mess, sorry. When I use my watercolor paints on this surface now, the gel medium that I use, the Liquitex gel medium, is going to hopefully give the paper back some of its strength. So I didn't know what that's going to look like, and I'm now trying it with you guys on this video, and I think it's working. So the idea here is just to put down random, just here, there, and everywhere, put down color, and I'm going to go over both sides. So it's just splotches of my watercolor watercolor paint. And I think if you had some acrylic paint as this base, that it would probably work just as well. And I'm going to use strong colors, reds, oranges, the darker blues, and just plonk them here, there, and everywhere, and try to get as much coverage, because this is going to be the part that sticks out. Once you go over you create your negative space, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not always that great at explaining myself, but that is effectively what we're going to be doing. So I will get this all covered and just use all these different colors. The darker the better, and I can already see that I am more than likely going to have to come in with a second layer. So I'm going to go off and get that done, because this is not super interesting to watch me do. And then as soon as this is all covered with as much color as I can, and maybe even a second layer. We'll start decorating with images. Once the paint is dry, the paint dried overnight, and I let a few areas dry before I went back and put a little extra paint on just to get a more coverage. And once everything was dry, I started with a couple of little doodles, and I'm following the doodles of the flowers and the leaves that I did on this one. Obviously the colorings is similar, but this one's a little brighter. But I think that these little doodle leaves and flowers will work just as nicely here. So I've started with some leaves up the side. There's a little flower there. I'm going to just do some basic little circles and areas. Am I in frame? No, sorry, I'm not. And I don't really know what I want to do with this page yet. I haven't quite decided, but I know that at some point I'll probably want to put some space on here for writing, or maybe, what did I do with it? Here it is. I saved this packaging because I thought maybe I could cut out this flat part at the bottom and glue a little bit of fabric because it'll be a sharp edge. Glue a little bit of fabric around the edges and maybe paste that down here, because that way I can still see through the plastic, but yet it'll be a pocket and I won't lose the pattern behind. So that's an idea. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do for this page. And then on this side, I'm going to just do something along the edges so that I can put my writing lines in the middle. But for now, the purpose of this video, I think, was just to show you how to put down your color, and then how to just using my black uni ball pen. I use these a lot, you guys. I just recently found they've got blue, black, gold, white, silver, and I'm sure they've got other colors that I just haven't seen. So I'm keeping it simple. It's probably too many leaves, but that's okay. So I'm going to continue just putting in more of these little designs, and I think I'm probably coming to the end of my available space here. See if I can fit a little flower in here, and then I think I'm gonna stop, because the next step I started already is to put like a I guess you could call it a whitewash everywhere outside of the little leaves and flowers, and that way they pop off the page a little bit, and then you could still come in like I did here, and this side's a better example, and do some accents inside the leaves and the flowers, and maybe even put a little bit of detail in places. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just finish off this little flower. Oopsie. I was a little worried because I had put that gel medium down. I thought, oh gosh, I wonder if this pen is gonna be happy with that, and it seemed like it was fine. And then I thought, oh, I wonder if my whitewash is gonna work, and that was fine. So all the times where I thought, oh, I messed up, I didn't. No, mess up. Okay, you guys, I think this is it. After these leaves, I'm going to mix up a little bit more of my whitewash. I over diluted my white paint in here, too much water. So I'm going to try something different, because it worked in places, did not work in others. So let's stop there. I'm just going to use my Apple Barrel Snow White, and you could use any of your white paint. I suppose you could also use any white watercolor paint as well. I'm just going with something a little that I think might have some. I have my paintbrush. Let's see. I've got to go and get my paintbrush. One sec. Okay, I found it. So I'm going to use a fairly small paintbrush to get into the little bits and pieces, and I'm going to use this bigger paintbrush going to get into the larger places. So let's start with the larger places. I'm going to water down my paint quite a bit because I really just want a wash of sorts, you know. Let's see if this is enough. It might not be. Let's see if I get a little bit of extra water in here, and I'm just going to use that whitewash water. I'm making such a mess. No mess. Alright, let's see if that'll work. Let's go in here. So the layer underneath is watercolor paint, and it is actually picking up some of that watercolor and reactivating it and creating almost like this marbled effect underneath, which I didn't expect, but I'm kind of liking. I think it looks a little different to my previous page that I did, and I think it's gonna be nice. I like it. So in places where it's a little thinner, I probably want to get out my thinner brush and get into these little bits and pieces. And if you go over your lines, it's really okay, because you can always draw them back in again with your gel pen. The gel pen works really well over almost any paint. I'm so impressed with those pens. They work really well. So I guess I'm going to just work on this, and it's going to take a minute, I'm not going to lie, to get all this space between my drawings filled in. So I'll invite you along for a little bit and then go off and finish it. Okay guys, so I am pretty much done and very happy with this page, and let me give you a little overview of how it turned out. And I just added some of my white uniball pen, just little stripes and highlights in places, and I've started on this side putting down the black markings for the design on the adjacent page. And I think what I'd like to do is something slightly different. You know these tissue boxes that you get, these little square ones. I'm a little close to the camera, I'm sorry, but these little square ones. And then when you pull out this insert to reveal your tissues, it leaves that beautiful oval hole. And so when the tissue box is finished, I've kept my last one. So what I'm going to do, because I've only put the black markings for flowers along the edge, I'm going to use this as a stencil. Go straight-ish, ish, many ishes in the middle, and just take, hopefully it doesn't move, just trace off this oval over here. And so just like I'm going to put the white paint in between the flowers, I am going to also leave this spot here open, and then later on put in some lines so that becomes a writing space. And you'd probably have to write on it with a lighter color pen, but that's okay. So I'm going to work on this and just work on putting a little extra, a few extra little, am I in frame? Yes. Doodles, plant doodles around here, and I'm probably not being super original, but what if we put a daisy? I'm gonna stand up so I can make sure that I'm in the frame. Put a daisy coming off this here. This is super simple and so relaxing. Earlier on I had an audiobook on while I was painting in all the white in the negative space, and I was just listening to my audiobook. It was so relaxing. Definitely something you can do whenever you feel like you just need that moment to unwind, you know? This is definitely my time to unwind. And so what should we do here? Maybe I will just do a great big leaf just there. Maybe a couple of little circles. Nothing super fancy. This is supposed to be relaxing. Great big circle there, maybe a couple of circles inside. Okay, so I'm gonna go off and get all the whitewash done. I still have, oops, I keep dropping it. I can get started on, where am I? Let me stand. Let me start on the edge here. So here we go. I think I'll put my audiobook back on and put on some music for you guys and get this all colored in. There you go. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I think on this side I am still going to cut out this piece of acetate from packaging, some blister packaging, and make a kind of pocket, and I'll do that in the next video. And then on this side, some lines here I think would be appropriate. I haven't quite decided whether to paste down some lines from a composition book or just to draw some in, but I think pasting some lines down might make more sense, because otherwise you might have a bit of trouble if you use an ink pen on the paint. It tends to lift a little bit excuse me, unless it's a gel pen. So I'm happy. I hope that this provided some inspiration for you to do some negative painting, and thank you again, Hazy, for the inspiration. Okie dokie, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.